And that brings me to my red and green thought bubbles, right? Because how do we teach empathy? Have you ever thought like how you have a 2-year-old, you have a 3-year-old, you have a 4-year-old, you even have a 5-year-old, and they are all about themselves. They are their own little world. Some of these kids don't even realize, they'll trample over another student and keep going because they didn't even realize that they did it. It's not malicious. It's just
Just unaware.
they're
Right.
just not aware, right? And in the same way they are not aware of their bodies, a lot of them are not aware that their behaviors have a direct influence on everybody else around them. So we came up with, let me see, I'm going to try my best to stop sharing this one, if you give me
Okay.
1 second. And I'm going to show you what I used in my classroom to ignore the behavior, but not the child. So very simple, red and green construction paper, literally drew a thought bubble with a Sharpie, cut it, laminated it, glued it on a popsicle stick. Done, right? Maybe 3 minutes it took me. Well, the laminating took a little longer. But how would I use this? I would introduce an emotion. We're going to talk about frustration. We're going to talk, the emotion of the month is going to be whatever it is, right? Just because it's always easier to talk about aggression. So let's talk about when you're mad, okay? And I would go into the whole explanation. This is what your body feels like. This is what, okay. It's okay to be mad. It is not okay to make red choices when you are mad. When you make red choices, you make me, Miss Bazan or Miss Sandy, have a feeling, a thought. If you're making green choices, what kind of thoughts do you think I'm going to have? All of the students are going to say, green thoughts. What does that mean? Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so proud. I'm excited. I love you. I can't wait to be near you. Give me and then I would be so dramatic. I'd get up and I'd hug kids and switch them around and just make a party, right? Because those are the green thoughts that you gave me.
Right.
And I would be reading a book and all my students would have a thought bubble, right? And as we do as teachers, we have to look in our text for the skill, the lesson, right? So if I'm reading a book and there's some type of conflict, I would then say, how do you think that made him feel? When his friend snatched the toy, that made him feel, what kind of bubbles? What do you think he was thinking? How do you think he felt inside when his best friend snatched his toy? And inevitably, all the students are going to be like, red thoughts. Okay, what you're trying to teach them and what you are essentially teaching them is empathy, that I have a direct effect on other people and other people have a direct effect on me. And so they start to understand, oh, mom was upset this morning because I threw myself on the floor because I didn't want to put on my shoes. And I made a red choice because I threw the shoes across the living room. And then mommy got mad at me. Notice how a 3, 4, 5-year-old, they're only going to say, mommy got mad at me this morning and cry, right? When you use this, they start to correlate. Oh, hold on. Mommy did get mad at me, but it's because I made a red choice.
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling red and I made a red choice and I gave mommy red thought bubbles. As a teacher, you now push in, okay, it's fixable. What can you do? How can we make this better? What can you do to go home and make mommy have green thoughts? How do you think mommy would feel if you had an awesome green day today? And that's how you teach it. That's one of my favorite tricks. I'm going to tell you, it works like magic. You put one of those in the hand of a puppet, you've got gold.
Yes.
You've got gold. Can you imagine Miss Penelope?
Yes.
With red and green thought bubble walking around the room? Absolutely. And so it's another strategy for when you have a child that's in a safe space, that calming corner, that self-regulatory area that we should all have in our classrooms. A lot of those behaviors that send our students to need self-regulation, are attention seeking in nature. How do we then, if it's attention seeking in nature and we don't want to reinforce the maladaptive behavior by giving it attention, How do we validate the student? How do we, let them know that I heard them, let them know that I see them, but also let them know I'm not going to give you attention for that. Red and green thought bubbles. I would pick it up if my student is tantruming in the back. I'm picking it up. I'm showing the world I'm having a red thought bubble, but I have my back towards that student. When all the other children are like, Miss, they'll ask me, I'm having a red thought. It's okay. We're just going to take deep breaths. It's because, and because children like to tell on each other, it's because he's having a hard time. It's okay. He's breathing it out. When he's ready, listen to what I'm doing, Adrienne, right? I'm saying it out loud. What am I actually doing? Who am I talking to? Right?
Right.
When he's ready, with quiet hands, quiet mouth, quiet feet, of course I'm going to give him, I need to know what's wrong. I just don't understand him when he's screaming. That's why I have the thought bubble, because I really want to help him, but I don't know how. All of a sudden, my friend in the back starts to quiet down. I turn around, I push in, and we talk about strategies for the next time. So that's what I've got on red and green choices. Those are also what we call expected versus unexpected. They do not have to, you don't have to have 15 million of them. I would suggest having a visual with a picture paired with words. Because as you know, most 3, 2, 4, and 5-year-olds can't read. So, but they can tell you about a picture. So that's what I would do.
Absolutely. Yes, Sandy. And just, the way you explain that, it's okay to have those feelings. It's okay to have feelings of anger or sadness, but just don't carry them with you all the time. And it's a great way in teaching them as littles to act in opposition to the way they feel.
Right.
Okay.
But to express it.
But
we don't want them not to, who wants that stuck in there? But
exactly.
but give them the skills that they need to talk through those really big emotions. Even if as an adult you think you don't understand, why are you having a tantrum? For us, our perspective, and I talk about perspective a lot in my training, is we have the world heavy shoulders, right? We have the world on our shoulders. Mm-hmm. Well, for a 2-year-old, not getting that red car, it is the end of
that's everything. That's it's huge.
It's huge. And for us to be like, oh, you're okay, no, he's really not. And it's okay to go there and tell him, you know what, I understand. It's so hard to share. Would you like to take a deep breath? Do you want another car? Do you want to sit here until he's ready to give it back to you? Offer so many, there's so many opportunities embedded in everyday activities, everyday conflict. And if you have these tools, all of the students start to understand and they use it with each other. It's the funniest thing. Look, Miss Bazan, he's making green choices. And then they throw a party for that child on the very tippy top of that pyramid.
Right.
The whole class will throw a party. He's making green choices. She's making green choices. I mean, what a better way to build a community.
Absolutely, I agree.
And you can even talk about conflict resolution using that terminology. You made a red choice, and you made Sally have red thought bubbles. They start to understand. Oh, you know what I mean? They're starting to put that abstract concept of behavior. And your feelings, and now you're mad at me. It's very complicated, right? But this is one way to kind of help them navigate and make it make sense to them.
Right. Okay.
Well, I think that's it.
I think that's it. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today for our Behavior Bites tidbit on red and green choices and thought bubbles. So these tidbits are going to be available for you to view at elcbroward.org/providers/behavior tidbits. Thank you for all that you do for the children in our community, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.